Well, all right. Hello, everybody. We're Suburban Bicycle Gang.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for joining us again. This is our third podcast, I believe.
Indeed.
This month we're looking at the artist Underworld.
Yep.
And their release, Second Toughest in the Infants.
Mm-hmm. Which is apparently it's their fourth album. I thought it was their second album. But actually, no, I knew it was not their second album. I thought it was their third album.
Well, it actually is their second in their MK2 lineup.
Okay.
Darren Emerson.
Right.
So maybe that's why you were thinking that.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. Yeah, because it was always like a duo, I guess, or I thought it was a duo.
Right.
But apparently I didn't even know what the title of the album was. I thought it was Of the Infants until right this second. Then apparently the internet tells me it's In the Infants, which doesn't make as much sense as Of the Infants, but they're both a little bit cryptic, I guess, in terms of titles.
Well, okay, so before we turn on the album here, you can check us out at suburbanbicyclegang.com and
find us on Spotify.
That's right.
By typing in those words.
Those exact words.
Yeah. What else are we? We got the YouTube channel. Look us up on YouTube.
That's right. We know we have a show coming up for sure.
Yeah. Wait, what show is that?
The Doors Pub.
Oh, yes.
In Hamilton on April 26th.
Yep. With a great lineup of bands.
That's right. Yeah.
Just sort of got released today, or the poster just got made today. So that's right. Cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, please check that out if you have time, and let's get to Second Toughest in the Infants.
Nice.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think you turn it up a little bit.
Turn her up.
Because this thing is pretty, it's picking up our talking, but it's not. There we go. That's probably good. There we go. So this is a nice, long, 76-ish minute album.
Yeah.
So we're going to settle in for a bit.
That's right. Now, this song, this start, would be good for biking.
For biking?
Yeah.
For like a motorbiking?
No,
like manual.
That's right.
Bicycling.
That's right.
So if you can picture that, or you can imagine this song being good for that. Why is that?
A lot of this album, actually, that's the one area I thought this album would be really, really good at.
Like Tour de France?
No, just
BMX.
Just a fool like me on a bike.
Oh, just like biking down the street.
Yeah.
It's very kind of like, I listen to it in the car a lot, like pump it up.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's sort of a weird album to listen to quietly for me because it's like a bit of a raver kind of album. So it's like it's got to be pumping or else it almost doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
To me.
That makes sense.
And this came out in the what year? Maybe like 94?
March 11th, 1996.
Oh, 96. Yeah.
I would have been a spry 16-year-old boy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you weren't not aware of this band or whatever?
Not at all. Not until
not on your radar.
You told me we were going to look into this.
Oh, so just a month ago maybe.
Yep, above that. Yeah.
Right. And this isn't normally a style of music you really kind of listen to, right?
No, I would say not.
Have you been ever to a club that plays this kind of music?
Yep.
When was the last time that happened?
Long time ago now.
Which club was it?
Like the Warehouse.
Oh, the Warehouse.
Or something
like in Toronto?
Yeah.
Oh, because I saw them play there. Best show I ever saw.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, one of the best for sure. They played at the Warehouse. It was like 97. So it was, I guess, no, because the next album had just come out, I guess. So maybe 97, 98.
Right.
Whatever year that was. But yeah, it was a great show.
And so how many people are up there playing?
I think they had a live drummer, I think. I'm trying to remember because they have like different kind of ways they can present this set, but it's kind of like a DJ set. But there was definitely like live guitar, a lot of looping and stuff.
Because I noticed when I was just looking at their bio,
it
was listed as artist instead of band.
Right.
So is it just one guy who's running this?
Yeah, this guy Carl is like the main guy behind the band. But when I became aware of them, it was like two guys.
Yeah.
or so I thought. But then when I saw them live, it was I think more than 2 guys to pull it off. But
Well, sure, yeah. If they're using all the tricks in the bag, then yeah.
yeah. But it was just like a big rave-a-thon when I saw them. It was
Nice.
like pretty cool. Like, because I don't go to a lot of shows where people are just like kooking out, dancing like crazy, just like freaking out. Like, I've only been to like
cool experience.
Yeah, I've been to like one rave in my life, I guess. It was a proper rave, I guess. But I was never like a raver or anything.
Either, no.
But I was into this kind of music, like, because they're known for like they're known for that song on this Train Spotting soundtrack. It's like their famous song.
Oh, okay.
Like the one.
That's a cool song.
Yeah, that song. You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the one like Born Slippy, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one that everyone kind of knows. So this came out, I guess, around the same time, or maybe even after. Now that you say '96, because Train Spotting is from '90. When's Train Spotting?
Oh, it was like '97.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So around the same time.
Yeah.
But that song was not on this album, although I guess it could have been. Yeah. So it's sort of like a time of like, I don't know. I was getting into like Aphex Twin, all these different electronic artists that are kind of similar to this in a way.
Yep.
You know, they're sort of like fringe popular, kind of, if you're into this kind of music, they're fairly popular, but if you're not into this kind of music, you just wouldn't have heard of them.
Right.
But,
and that's where I am.
Yeah. But I guess the Train Spotting soundtrack had an impact in that, like, it brought together a lot of, like, it's sort of like, you know, do you remember in the 90s, there was soundtracks that were, like, hybrid, like, hip-hop rock or, like, hybrid electronic, whatever, like the Spawn soundtrack.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It had like these kind of guys mixed with like sort of edgier rock guys.
Yeah.
But those were that was like a theme of a kind of soundtrack that happened back then, I guess.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure if it was just specifically in that time frame, but
that's back when soundtracks were still kind of mattered, you know?
Yeah, like that Train Spotting was a huge soundtrack. It had like, you know, it combined like who was on that? Like Iggy Pop was on that one, right?
That was a big one, yeah.
Because that song had been obviously released before, like the Lust for Life, but it was like popularized almost from that soundtrack. It was so perfect for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking, I think Blur's on that soundtrack.
Are they?
With just one of their early songs that kind of fits the druggy vibe.
Yeah.
I think New Order's on it, but just say it's sort of like a meeting ground of like electronic people and like rock-ish people or punk people, because it's sort of like that whole soundtrack's kind of like a bit of a kind of a cultural statement, I guess, about just sort of like it's a bit of a middle finger kind of album, I guess, in some way.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you know, like the part of society that people, it sort of represents a certain like element of society, right? Like the kind of drugged out kind of super impoverished British population, kind of thing at the time.
A hard life.
Yeah, it's like the tenement kind of lifestyle and stuff like that. So I guess a lot of those people just did drugs and went to raves and stuff. But
makes sense. Just dance it off, man.
That's
why I play drums.
Yeah, it's like an energy kind of like way to focus your energy.
Oh yeah.
Rather than just like, you know, brooding over things, I guess. Like, because you have energy built up, it's like the angst, right?
Yep.
But I feel like this music's kind of like not super angsty, but it is a little bit angsty, I guess, in some way. It's kind of dark. Kind of cruises along. It's like the songs are all super long.
Yeah.
And they're very like arranged in a funny way where it's a really abstract album. Like, that's why I like this kind of music, because it's just abstract in a way. Like, it's not really like, you can't listen to it like a normal song. Yeah. Or else you just don't get it or something.
Well, yeah, it'll lose you for sure if you, approach it like a standard, like chart topper.
Yeah, standard rock blues or anything. Yeah. It doesn't follow any of those formats, so it's like...
No.
But it still has vocals kicking around and, sometimes guitars and things like that, so...
Yeah, well, that first song had a cool guitar riff on it. And that's actually what I found giving this album a couple listens was, especially like after the first time, because you kind of just absorb it.
Yeah.
But definitely the second time, kind of hearing like just more of the individual parts and just how
there goes the guitar right there.
Right? And just great build.
Because we're still in track 1, I think.
Are we? I was just gonna ask you that. I just said it was, on the first song, but I'm like, this
Yeah.
is still the first.
I think.
song.
Well, the thing is, you don't know where you are anymore.
Right?
You're like disoriented, right? You're like.
It's kind of part of the thing.
Because the riffs change.
Yeah.
You don't know where you You could be in another song, but it's because the song's like 7 minutes long. You're actually still in the first song.
Right.
So it's
Crazy.
pretty neat, and it's got a lot of cool synth parts and stuff like that. So if you're into like those kind of textures, it's pretty neat.
Yep.
But it's not really like, I guess it's more like techno or something, because I'm gonna sound ignorant a little bit, but like it's not so much breakbeat music as it is like for like dance music, but like with a lot of like polyrhythms.
Okay.
So like the typical like almond break kind of beat.
Yep.
It's not so much like that, but it's more like it just kind of goes. The drums kind of morph, but they're always sort of still the same BPM. It's not like speeding up, slowing down kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so in a way, it's kind of like for some people that are maybe into like organic sounds, it sort of might sound just like kind of like machine like or something.
Well,
right?
I think that's kind of why I don't really listen to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just truthfully, that's why. I mean, but it's better than what I thought it was going to be going into it.
Yeah.
It's still like it's trance-like to me. Because like you're saying, it's a constant BPM, right? Like it's.
Yeah.
So and you just get sucked into whatever. Like it's that cool little drum sound going now, right? That's.
Yeah. See, like this new rhythms kind of come into it all the time. Like so riffs or whatever, beats, different elements. So it kind of just like eases you through it, I guess. But I can see it being kind of like, it's not that extreme in a sense. Like it's not like, it's not like super heavy. Like it's like a lot of music. It's like, you listen to it because it's just so heavy, or like you know what I mean nowadays. Like the sort of progressive metal bands and stuff like that. They're all like the beats are all, there's as much beats and guitars packed into it as possible.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like relaxing in a way, because you're just like, there's, it's more musical to me, I guess, because it's not like it's not hitting you over the head with like just riffs all the time. Which
there's space. Yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of a cool thing, but you
And
have to just like give up to it, I guess. Like, all right, you know what I mean?
Again, I think that's why it works for biking, because it's trance-like and it's a constant rhythm, right? It's a constant tempo, so you're easy to match once you get to it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of music, I feel, if you don't have the right application for it, like the right sort of setting, you almost can't listen to it.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it makes sense. Totally.
Yeah, so it's like certain, like I was listening to like, I don't know, some Pearl Jam or whatever in the car the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm going to see them next month or whatever. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where at?
In Hamilton.
Nice.
Yeah, because they're playing, I guess they're doing a tour for the new album, so.
Right.
They've released a couple songs. But
are they any good?
The new songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay. They're not super amazing, but they're kind of like different. They're kind of different in a weird way where it's like, speak of like electronic music, it's like the first single is kind of electronic-y.
Oh, really?
It's got like a drum machine sounding drum beat and then like a synth line in it.
Really?
So it's like Talking Heads.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
It's cool, but it's almost like, it's funny to watch like the reaction of when that came out. The fans were kind of like, I kind of dig it. Like it wasn't like flatly rejected.
Right. Cool.
Sort of thing.
Well, that's good.
But it kind of reminds me of how bands like certain bands they try to go a little bit electronic and it just like doesn't suit them.
Yeah.
Because they just sort of like maybe they don't know how to use the gear. Or I was actually watching this thing about the Clash the other night.
Okay.
And they had apparently it was like this guy that does these videos about like kind of albums that like are train wrecks. It's called Train Records, and it's just like this dude does this series, and it's like the last Clash album. Do you know about this?
No.
They released an album in like '86 or something.
Really?
That was like after. So nobody talks about this album because it's so bad.
Okay.
It's like really bad.
Really?
Yeah, it's like super bad because like
Oh, man.
the whole time, like okay, so the story behind that album is like they're like gonna bring punk back. They're like we've had enough of all this like sort of shit that's come out like the '80s
New
synth
wave
shit.
shit?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
kind of like okay, we gotta bring it back to rock and roll, and they released an album with like based on a drum machine that sounds terrible. It's like, oh my god.
Were they all high or?
It was because, according to this video, it was because their manager was calling the shots at that point, and the manager was kind of like a doofus.
Right.
So the doofus manager decided it's like we're gonna use this drum machine, and then we're gonna just like.
And everybody was on board?
Well, the dude that wrote the songs, like all the good songs, was gone.
Okay.
So Mick, is it Mick Jones or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, because Joe was there,
Okay.
but Mick was gone.
Right.
And so he wrote most of the good songs, apparently, or like the music for it at least. Like not the lyrics, but the music. So he was gone. The manager guy's like, okay, we're gonna come back with this like, this like, it just sounds like it sounds crazy. Like when you hear it, it's just like because the drum machine is so bad. Like it's just like a really crap drum machine, and like it's amazing they even recorded it. But again, talking about like the convergence of like rock and electronic. So it's like the Clash are like claiming that they're gonna come back with a punk album, and they come back with like a really crappy synth album that isn't really synth.
Right.
It's just like so.
You know, everybody loses their way.
Yeah, and they also like got they got a couple new members or something.
Okay.
So it was like
yeah, you can never recreate.
Yeah.
With new people like what you once had.
Yeah.
Like and I don't even know why people try. It's just move on.
Well, I mean, because
unless you got contract obligations, all that. Right?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
I mean, yeah, I think. Well, what happened with that album? I don't know, but like.
Anyways, but that they were singing there. It was cool.
There's some singing, yeah. Like it took me some time to get into this kind of music a bit, but like, I think it was good for me at the time because it kind of broadened my like scope of what kind of music I would potentially like, I guess.
So you were digging this in mid-90s?
Yeah, like
really?
mid-90s, like, cause yeah, this album, like the next album is the first album that I got when it came out.
Yep.
And so, and it was, you know, they had a progression. Like this band actually had like the album before, like the first album that was sort of like, you know, kind of well known sounds like this, but the album before that sounds like it's kind of like more of a, kind of remember it being more of a guitar, kind of like cowboy hat thing, like, but still kind of synthy, but still like more kind of tackier.
Okay.
So this is like more of an evolved version of the band where they kind of like, you know, when a band is like certain bands, they start off, you know, like where they don't resemble what happens to them eventually. Like,
I would hope that happens in most bands. You know?
I think sometimes that doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
But like, say,
I guess that makes sense too. I don't know.
Like Tool, you know, Tool was like Maynard was in some weird kind of like
Perfect Circle.
No, like before Tool, Maynard was in some weird band.
Oh, okay.
That like they jammed on like Sober and stuff like that, but it was like a totally different band. It was like it had a different look to it, and it was just like a weird band. Huh. So it's like I forget if I don't think it was like electronic or anything, but it was more 80s style.
And
you know
he
what I mean?
He was singing.
He was still singing, and he was still Maynard, but it was like kind of a wacky like because in Tool it was like a different kind of like they had a totally different image.
Yeah.
It's just like when like I can think of a few bands where like the band decides to like scrub their image or like they just kind of delete their old image and like get a new image.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I think that happened with this band because like it's just like once they got like a certain rig or whatever, like once this guy was like whatever synth it was that he got that like made this kind of sound.
Yeah.
That kind of defined the band.
Okay, that MK2 thing they were talking about?
I guess that's what that means.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe that's an instrument or something. But
sure, we need Brandon.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, exactly. But I think that's what that is. Because this sound kind of like evolved and like they've done like lots of albums since this time. Like they've done like maybe like 6 or 7 more albums. But this was like still I think they're like prime time.
Is this like their big album?
I guess. I don't know. I think the next album was a bit bigger maybe.
Okay.
But
and that would have been around Train Spotting.
Yeah, like just after Train Spotting.
And that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Off of
they were
that
big
success.
at that time.
Yeah, cool. Because that's a really cool tune, man.
Yeah, it's a really cool song.
And actually, like in the last couple months, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of DJ equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really fascinating to me. Just the amount of I had no idea, so I had no point of reference, but the amount of skill involved in just doing it perfect is really impressive. It reminded me a lot of, like, especially like scratching stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and scratching is like, at its basic is that kind of nonsense, right? But like, it's so interesting and so hard. I actually was comparing it to like a theremin,
Okay.
in the sense of how subtle you have to be in your movement to get each note.
Right.
So it was really impressive. So it was really cool to get to bring it back to this album, to kind of just understand more what it takes to do this kind of thing. And this kind of album and this kind of music, to me, I would much rather be in a club and hear it than like anywhere else.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best place.
That's sort of where it was meant to be played, I guess.
Right? Like that's kind of just what I hear, and that's kind of what I picture.
Yeah.
When it's playing, right? But not so much a song like this. Like there is a couple in here that are really.
Yeah.
I could see them being good for driving, like you were mentioning earlier. It's it's some really cool grooves. But yeah, just we're playing with that, like controller stuff. It's been really interesting.
Well, this dude, I just want to interject, because like this dude does like speaking of like the old persona of this band had, like he does a bit of an Elvis-y thing with his voice. It's like he kind of croons it all,
nice,
but he does it in this weird, like, kind of super, like, what do you call that kind of poetry where it's just like off the top of your head kind of stuff.
Okay, like
beatnik poetry.
Okay,
like where it's just like word association kind of.
Okay.
And it's like that's kind of my favorite kind of lyric sometimes, if you can pull it off properly.
You really got to be in a good space. I've done it sometimes and like just been amazed by the words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? I got to get out of this
like
now.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like, I mean, like this isn't, I don't think this is improv. It's just like the way that he writes the words. It's like, it's kind of like free association.
Right.
And then he can repeat it, but it's like, it's not like he's just like making shit up or whatever, but he's like, that's another cool thing I like about the kind of lyrics that he does. Yep. It's just like it's all just kind of mixes in with, because the music's so kind of far out that it's kind of like, if you try to,
kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like floating around.
So,
and so that's another reason actually that I kind of sometimes don't like this band, because sometimes when they try to do this, it's like, it's kind of like the watered down version of this really sucks to me, because like they'll try some kind of like just sort of vibe, like the song has a vibe, it's got a rhythm, but it's also kind of like not as cool in some way, like it's like sort of hit or miss kind of thing with this kind of thing.
Like a supermarket shelf, like one of those romance novels.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, because he can get like kind of corny.
Down. Yeah,
he can get kind of corny with his like lyrics. And
Daniel Steele, that's it.
Daniel Steele.
I couldn't think of it. I was like, what is it?
Like the famous romance author.
She's still kicking?
I think so.
How much money has that old lady made?
I don't even know if that's a real person.
Yeah, that's fair.
She could just be like a pen name. Could be some dude, right?
Nobody's actually looked into it. She's actually, technically, she's 163.
And she's a dude.
Yeah, but really, an alien.
Yeah.
I'm putting that out right now.
A tall white.
Yeah.
You know what a tall white is?
No.
They live in Las Vegas. And they sometimes go shopping on the Strip. It's the type of alien that lives in the desert.
Okay.
Because they have a base there, apparently.
Okay. They've
been reported as being real.
And they're just tall and white.
They're tall, white, and they look really bizarre, but they can like almost mix in with like the weirdos in
LA.
In Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. They're called, there's like the grays, the whites, there's all these different like.
Well, I'm a member of the grays. So
oh, yeah.
I know
there you
that.
go. Yeah. So you are a gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? There's like the different like colors or whatever.
I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, the tall whites. It's a type of alien.
Well, there you go.
The ones that have sort of apparently live on Earth.
By the way, this is super cool.
Yeah, see, it's got the little blues licks and
Yeah.
stuff. Kind of like you can also think about like Beck doing this kind of stuff, where it's like
Yeah, that's
Beck
fair,
does stuff
yeah.
like this, where he's like
And I
electronic beat, and then all of a sudden like blues guitar
that's
comes
fair.
in.
Yep. Just with more like pop sensibility, I guess.
For him,
for Beck.
Yeah,
more,
totally.
More hook driven, right? Like you can
Yeah.
keep the ear.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
sort of like more in a pop song format or something. Like he's trying to make something catchy.
Yep.
That's kind of why I don't like Beck sometimes.
Lowest
'cause,
common denominator. No, not Beck. I mean, Beck's good, man.
I
Beck's
do
got
like Beck.
a lot of good, but
Yeah.
truthfully, since Sea Change, I've kind of checked out.
Pretty much same
And
thing.
I think I probably should check in and see what's happened since, because there's a lot there.
I think he did a couple albums that were not bad. Like kind of like he did like some kind of a synthy album
Cool.
that was sort of like a synth pop album to try to blend in with that scene, I guess. Like,
But
which,
like Midnight Vultures is
that was always like one of my favorite ones.
that one, but like the one that I hold dearest is Olay.
Yeah, Ole's one of my favorites too,
That's
for
an
sure.
amazing album.
Well, the first 5 albums.
Yeah, they're
that he
hard to
did,
argue with. Yeah.
I like even like Stereopathetic's pretty good.
Yeah.
With its like kind of, record in his bedroom kind of like vibe that it has.
Yeah, like a demo type.
Yeah,
feel.
I still love that album.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
But it's like, it's still in the vein of like before he kind of like, quote, like sold out or something. Just like, because the next album after Sea Change wasn't like, no, he did a couple like, sort of, it sounded kind of like rehashed.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, because I know I like kind of like half listened.
Like the information and stuff like that.
Yeah, truthfully, I gotta dive back in. Though,
So I knew some people that were
artists.
like, actually the funny thing about that is like I remember hanging out with people that were like, they were at an age where like the information was like their album.
Okay.
And so they were like, this is what Beck is about. I'm like, this is not what Beck is. Like, this isn't prime Beck.
Yeah.
But their argument was like, fuck the other shit. And I'm like,
Right.
what? Like,
Yeah.
this is the rehashed stuff.
Yeah.
Because then it got into like Sea Change 2 with that Grammy-winning album that he got. It was like morning something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I never. You know what? I never even checked that out.
I checked it out and I was like, this just sounds like Sea Change, only not as good.
Yeah, when I said I checked out at Sea Change, like I liked Sea Change. I had no problem with it.
Yeah.
It didn't grab me like the other albums did, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like a different style.
Yeah.
He's trying to do all these different styles and whatnot, but
This is super cool. It's been building really well.
it kind of just floats along.
This is not a club vibe though.
No, there's different parts of the club though. There's like what's the thing called? The room where you go to chill out after.
There's 2 types of music: country and western. No.
Yeah, this is a little.
Oh, like a green room or like a chill room?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It might be called like the blue room or like the purple room.
Oh,
But it's like where you go when you're like, when you're so high that you can't dance anymore.
yeah.
You go to that room. That's what would play in that room.
Okay, that would make me puke, probably.
Because this is like a cool vibe. I like it because, and the thing about this album to me is like
See, the problem though is if you're at that point in a club. Sorry,
yeah, no,
but when you, because it'll make you close your eyes.
yeah,
Because it's so relaxing, then you're gonna puke.
yeah,
The world's gonna spin.
yeah. You have to be like almost choose to take a break.
Yeah, I mean
not-
that's what I've heard. You know,
Yeah,
being the
I've been in that room before.
yeah, maybe.
Like, and they'll play stuff like this. There's like the kind of loungy drum and bass kind of stuff that this sort of what is another. I like drum and bass stuff a lot.
Yep.
And that's like this kind of gets a little bit into that because it's just like it is like drum driven, and when the bass, like I don't know if you can't really hear the bass, but yeah, there's a bass in there.
Yeah, it's
But it's
kind
not-
of buried though. Yeah.
But there's all these like at this point in history, there's like 300,000 different subgenres of every genre.
Yep.
And so I'm not sure where this one actually sits anymore because it's not techno or
Kind of holds its own spot, or
it's like a hybrid. So it's not because techno is like when I think about techno, I think of just like the beat just like pounds.
this is not techno. Like I wouldn't put this album in there.
No, it's not.
No.
But it's still but techno still is like 4 on the floor, kind of like
Yep. Yep. Totally. It's relentless.
yeah. So
That's
it's like,
my opinion.
yeah, like some dirty Detroit kind of techno, kind of just. It's not. This is way too clean to be like
Yeah.
a certain kind of techno or anything.
But this song's different, like, than what had come before it on the album. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just got a different, I don't know, it's got a different vibe than the other ones.
Yeah. But it's like, you get into it like 6 minutes in, you're like, I kind of like it now. After like...
Well, because it just goes at you, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's got, right?
It's a cool part, yeah.
This would be fun to play live.
Yeah, there's guys out there now that can, like, I've seen on YouTube, like, guys that do drum covers and stuff like this.
Okay.
Be like, this one guy, Delta Empire, sort of saw him recently. He wears a mask, and he plays, like, some, like, stuff like this, where it'll be, like, Prodigy or something. It'll be, like, just neat, because it's, like, you know, it's
he's just mixing it?
He's just, like, playing along to it,
okay.
I guess, but it's, like, it's cool because he's got this pretty rad drum setup and, like, kind of, like, backlit kind of, and then he wears this kind of cool mask, and then it's very, like, kind of futuristic.
That's cool.
But he does different genres, like, genres where the drums wouldn't normally get played by a drummer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sort of, or, like, this kind of thing. Where
cool,
it's like,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, like,
I guess the closest I came to this kind of stuff was Battles.
Okay, yeah, Battles.
Yeah, they're cool, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the Battles or just Battles.
I think it's just Battles.
Yeah. I went with our mutual friend Dave to Phoenix. There, and it was cool because the drummers got the high cymbal thing going, right? So you get that really cool visual.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah. But like a lot of like instrumental stuff and exclusively when I saw them, I think. I don't know if they have a lot of vocals.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've listened to them a couple times. Maybe.
It was awesome. I think it was at the Phoenix, but so this doesn't remind me of that, but like some of the other stuff, and to that when you get like that really cool lighting happening, when you got a lighting team,
exactly. That can
really
do something for it, right?
Make it the best show you've ever seen. Like
at the
totally. Warehouse, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that was a big part of it. Just like this, whatever strobe lights and stuff were going off, and just like the whole production of it.
That shit is so huge, man. It's your mind frame, and then their collective shit together.
Yeah, like
pyrotechnics and.
Yeah, I kind of prefer like the vibe of this band. Like when I saw Tool at the Warehouse once, and like the thing that I didn't like about it, even though it was like a good show, was that
I wouldn't want to see them in that venue. No, it seems like a weird venue.
Why is that?
I don't know. For Tool,
it's a pretty boomy room. Like it's a very like because of those pillars.
Yeah.
It was very boomy, and like a lot of shows there are just boomy and kind of sound bad.
I know, but like it works for
certain,
more dancier vibes.
Yeah.
Than Tool. Not that Tool. I mean, you could dance to Tool, I guess.
Well, the problem with Tool at that show is that it was just like a bunch of like sweaty dudes like crushing each other in in a sort of like, and so I just remember being like, this doesn't feel like even safe because it's just like you're just in this crowd and
because it wasn't
at all, and like I mean, and so it's kind of cool because you're like kind of like getting into it, but like it's like the energy is kind of just like a little bit like someone's gonna get crushed in the crowd at some point. Like it's amazing that nobody did because it was just like people jammed in there, and it's so like aggressive and kind of just like the thing that gets me is just like the way that it's. Like it actually is like a hazard. It's like a crushing hazard, one of those kind of situations where someone could get hurt. In the bands, it's like whatever, like security will deal with that, or like someone else will deal with it. We're just here to play,
right?
And so it's like, whereas other shows with other types of bands, you get more like the fans are like change up the audience, so it's not like as much as I like Tool, it's like. Tool fans might not be my favorite.
That's kind of a thing, right? There's a lot of bands that fans there's definitely a stereotype of their fan base. Like the hip has that kind of, not that they're annoying, just like the type of person.
Something like like ICP.
ICP, yeah, yeah, they're funny.
But it's like they breed a certain kind of fan, right?
Yeah,
Where it's just
yeah.
like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Tool is sort of a little irresponsible in some way. With
we have to do an ICP album. That's what we got.
Yeah, there you go. Because remember...
Bring back my college years.
There you go. I never really listened to ICP.
Yeah. There you go.
I think at that point, I had my fill of, like, that kind of...
Oh, good for you. I wish I had.
Stuff.
But I didn't, right?
But, you know, we talked about, like, the skate nigs. Like, these bands that are kind of like these, like, you know, kind of like...
cheap knockoffs of
something.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah.
Oh, but you know who came back recently? Body Count.
No shit.
They had like a new... I go on YouTube and there's a thing for a new Body Count song. And I kind of like Body Count.
That's with what's his name, right?
Yeah,
Ice
T.
T.
Yeah.
My brother was big on that.
Was he?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta tell him.
Which brother?
Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're back. And it sounds awesome. Like some bands kind of like don't make very good comebacks, but it was like kind of I think it's because they have all their guys where it's like there's the guitar player. There's this guy Ernie, whatever, Ernie C or something. Okay. And it's like the metal shredding guy.
Okay, cool.
But black prison looking guy.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like, but just like, or I forget that.
I mean, that's just like videos and shit, right? Like,
yeah, I'm sure he's listening. Like, but like they kind of present that kind of like, sort of like, you know, slightly thuggish.
Yeah, you gotta sell it. Yeah.
But also it's just like, it is kind of brutalized kind of music where, but yeah, it's like a lot of bands are just like hybrids of different styles, you know.
So you were mentioning the Clash in that '86 album, that Trainwreck, right?
Yeah.
And it made me think it's like it's not like it's all about that vibe, right? Going back into something, right? Like you were saying, what was it? Ice-T.
Yeah, Ice-T.
Like coming back and it's good. Like it's because it's coming from the right place, right? Like that guy's not gonna mess around. Those boys aren't gonna mess around. They're not gonna do it unless unless they got something to do, right? Something to say, right?
I think, but it can go wrong in the sense of like you could do the angry political band and kind of have it just be kind of like lame because it's like, you know, there's
but they have credentials, man. You know what I mean?
I think that's what saved them in this case. Because like, I don't know, certain bands with their politics and stuff like that can be like.
Why is that? Why is it so picked apart on one band and others get?
I don't know, because like
it's kind of weird.
Fucking Pearl Jam, right? Bush Leaguer.
Well,
you remember know what that is?
No.
It's like this song from like, I don't know, like Riot Act or something.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like they're George Bush trash talking song.
It's called Bush Leaguer.
Bush Leaguer, and like it's not very popular because it's like he talks a lot and he wears like a bush mask. But it's like that was like during that presidency, right? So it's like he'd do that song and then like the crowd would just be like boo, and he'd be like, I'm just like gonna do it anyway, kind of thing. Okay. But the problem with this song is it's like it's not a very good song.
See,
it's sort of a lame song.
But like.
It's like a spoken word kind of.
But I also think that's because like the mentality of the culture is not to hear that, right? Yeah. So like the style that he's chosen to present that in like a talking, style, it's not gonna appease the market. But like he obviously, at that point too, he's already done all the hit song stuff. Like maybe he's feeling like I gotta say something. And I haven't said shit.
Well, I think he has like opinions and stuff. Like
sure, well, we all do, and that's kind of back to my point there. Why do we give shit to some bands and other people in bands we let go free and say whatever they want?
Well,
it's like everybody's got an opinion. Let them fucking say
it. I mean, like with the opinion, it's like obviously people all have opinions, but I guess.
But like people get fucking destroyed over that shit, man.
Yeah, obviously, totally, especially now.
Like, fuck, we can't even say it. You can't even say what you think.
No, because people are just like, I hate you now. Like, it's like the people that aren't in agreement with your opinion just come down on you.
Just hate you.
Because you've like.
I guess it depends what we're talking about.
Depends what we're talking about, but also it's like your public, like this will be on the internet, so it's like it's like a public statement of like, oh, I heard that statement that you made publicly about this topic. It's like, who gives a shit? Like,
so shitty that politics is so divisive.
It's not even politics; it's just opinions. It's like people don't want to hear people don't respect other people's opinions half the time. So it's like, that's the thing. It's not even just politics. Like, you say something and someone doesn't like what it is you said, and they're just like, I don't like that guy.
Man,
he said something
tough,
that.
Yeah.
And so that's why with music, with music, it's like, it's how you execute it too. Like, sort of reminds me of the situation in Pearl Jam where they kicked out the drummer, the drummer that I like.
Oh, okay.
The dude that was on like
the beginning
versus, like, yeah, he was basically there at the beginning of that.
Okay.
And they kicked him out because they didn't have the same political views. Like,
that was Jeremy Irons, right?
No, they brought him in.
Right?
Okay. Jack Irons.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, they brought in Jack Irons after this guy.
Right.
He was like their old buddy.
Yes.
But like the dude before that, the Dave Aberzeezy guy, he was their best drummer. And like,
I thought that was the Soundgarden guy.
No, the Soundgarden guy was in there at the beginning too. But like, he wasn't really their drummer until like 2000.
Dave Cameron?
Matt Cameron?
Matt Cameron?
Yeah, he's their current drummer. He's been their drummer for like 20 fucking years.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, but like, no, the one dude that I like his like playing the best, they kicked him out because I think like they just didn't get along with him. They didn't like his politics because he had a gun. And so they wrote that song about guns.
Right. About him?
As if to say, like, what's up with you buying a gun?
Did they take the melody of Rats and just replace it with guns?
No. It's on the same album, though. It's that, you know the song, like, Glorified G song?
Oh, is it?
That's the song where it's, like, kind of like bitching about guns.
No shit.
And to the guy in the band who bought a gun.
Well, I don't know.
So it's like, I don't know for a fact, but I think they just kicked that dude out because they're like, oh, he's like a gun-toting, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you don't know particulars of that.
But I think that's what the story.
Into...
Well, it's just a speculation, so that's what I heard. But like,
I mean, it's Pearl Jam. Like, screw Pearl Jam.
Screw Pearl Jam. You're not a Pearl Jam guy?
Nah, they got some good stuff, but
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. Who am I?
I mean,
right?
what don't you like about Pearl Jam?
I don't know, just the.
But that's like, well, yeah, that's a lot of bands sound like. I mean,
I blame Pearl Jam for Creed.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that they pretty much are responsible for Creed,
right? Like, so, like, they all need to.
It's a singing style, though. It's like good songs versus bad songs.
I'm not saying like the music's great and all that. Like, I like a lot of Pearl Jam songs, but I also dislike a lot of.
Okay, what's one you like and what's one you don't like?
I can't. Like, more because, like, just got hit over the head with it. Jeremy, I can't.
You can't handle Jeremy?
Can't hear it anymore. Can't. But, you know, like, anything off of Vitology.
You like?
Yes.
Okay. So you prefer, like, Tremor Christ?
To
Jeremy?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Just for feel alone.
Yeah.
No, I don't. That's why. Yeah. No. Yeah. Vitology's my favorite.
That was always my favorite album too.
Yeah.
But it's got some pretty. It's got some pretty
so weird,
whacked out songs on it. Yeah.
And like Spin the Black Circle is such a great song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they're a good band, but like, that's not something I never put on.
No.
I'd put this on
before Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
saying something.
Truthfully, this album is grown on me. Like, it's much better than what I really thought I was going to be dealing with. You know?
It's sort of like if you hate the sound of synthesizers, you will not like it.
See, but I don't.
Well, then,
but it's just like, you know, I'm not. I mean, especially like I was saying, I've really had an opportunity to play these instruments recently.
Yeah, that's
a whole new perspective on it. It's so fascinating to me how precise it is, and just how focused you'd have to be through this whole time. And like, it's really an art.
I think
of course it is, but I didn't realize that.
I think it'd be much harder to make this than it would be to make like a rock album.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all what you know.
It's all what you know.
It's all where you go, right? Like,
but it's like there's like the 4-chord kind of like song that everyone's written. Those are pretty relatively easy to make. You know what I mean? It's just like typical rock song. Versus this is like you have to have some specialized skills to make this. I'd say, like not that it's better, but it's like I just think it would be like harder to like put this together, just arrange this. You know what I mean?
So it's not I think that's just an equipment thing more than anything.
Yeah, kind of. I guess so. But even just the way it's arranged, because it's like things come in, things come out. Like songs are super long.
But like
usually.
this, so like, where does this music come from? Like, what's we go to blues for rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so where does this originate? Is it disco?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, because like that's why I like this music, because it doesn't remind me of blues music, and I'm kind of sick of blues music in general.
There's a certain kind of blues music I can't take anymore, but there's some. I like the old school blues. It's just amazing.
Well, like the field recordings.
Yeah, like
those guys that were recorded in like 1906.
Like all that old grimy shit. Yeah, I know you like that stuff.
I like that stuff. Yeah,
that stuff's awesome. We've talked blues before. I feel like we've talked this, but
yeah, it's not like I hate blues. I definitely like a lot of I like Zeppelin. That's very bluesy. I like a lot of those bands from the.
And all Zeppelin did was copy old blues.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I used to have a John Lee Hooker album that I really liked.
I just brushed off Zeppelin.
Yeah.
No, they did.
Well, because they weren't specifically blues in the. They wanted to be.
Yeah, I just enjoyed doing that. That's all.
Well, they were kind of like the reason I like them is because they like.
I like Zeppelin.
They're kind of like. They don't just do blues. Like they started off doing more blues stuff, but like even in the beginning, they did stuff that wasn't blues. It was more just like proto metal rock, whatever.
Stones were a blues cover band.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Like
it's like your spin on it. I think it's like if you have like a take on the genre, and it's like. Then, but if you're just trying to emulate it, like to, just because you're not creative, and you just kind of like, because I've been to shows.
I don't know, there's creativity in emulating.
Yeah, but there's a point where it's sort of not really, because like,
yes,
I'll go to like an open mic or something. And
I agree.
Like, here comes some blues guy, and he's just like, this song's called "I Got the Blues," and I got the blues. And he just plays like a typical blues song. Like, really, it's like 2019 or something. Like. You're playing just like the most generic blues song of like all time, like just a total like blues by the numbers song. Like, and they play it like as if you don't like, as if you've never heard it before or something.
Right.
Where it's just like, are you kidding? Like, I don't know, like the stereotypical blues.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it, man. I totally.
Kind of irritates me, but
Where are we on this album?
I think we're halfway, or maybe.
That's crazy for halfway.
Is it? I don't even think we are halfway.
This is a long album.
It's pretty long. Just gotta plug this thing in before the battery dies.
This is Pearl's Girl.
This is the hit.
This is the hit. Okay.
This is the hit.
And now we're listening to the remastered version of this album.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. I don't know if there's any difference in the original.
It sounds like what I'm familiar with already, so. You have to like listen to it in headphones to really get it.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. And this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th song.
Okay.
So, like you said, basically middle of this album.
Halfway.
That's cool.
But yeah, if it's like blues stuff from like before 1950 or something, when it was like fresh, or something, then I can get into it.
Yeah.
Or if it's someone that just like is really into it, where you can kind of just like, but I don't know, people that do blues almost like over emote anyway, so it's like
that's true.
It's kind of like they just have to do the prove that they have the fucking blues, and it's like, come on, like
we get it.
It's like it's so generic.
Yeah, and that's fair, man. That's a fair criticism, I feel.
Yeah, if you're gonna criticize it, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
So this band here, Underworld, Still trucking along. This
Still
is
trucking along.
the hit.
It
So-
takes a while to
Okay.
rev up, I guess, but
Because I'm like, this is. And like, there you hear that voice from the song from Train Spot.
yeah, it's like the
Very same
telephone voice.
Yeah.
But this is his thing. This is sort of like maybe the first song we've heard on the album where there's like a lead vocal.
There were a couple, but they were like very, it took longer to come in, and they were very spacey. Like,
exactly. This is more like on top.
Yeah.
Like you can't ignore it.
No. And this captures my ear more than the other songs, and obviously most people this captured them because this is the hit.
Well, I mean, I think it was the single, or it was definitely the single.
Yeah, someone's pushed, right?
But yeah, it was like somebody thought this was like one of the ones to push.
Yeah.
Which I actually do like this song particularly.
Cool, yeah.
I kind of like it because it's like he sings, but he sings in a way that's like not conventional.
Yeah.
So it's like I like his unconventional approach to singing.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when things get too conventional, I just kind of get kind of bored. 'Cause it's really easy to be, like pretty normal with music and stuff. It's like
a lot of people would argue with you. Right?
Well, how so?
They'd be like, "Wow, I can't do anything on an instrument."
Oh, you mean just like people that can't play at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all perspective, man.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
And that's not to say you shouldn't keep trying to expand and change and all that. It's just, perspective is everything, man.
It is everything.
Right? And it's neat. It's just, someone like you who's played for a while now, and that's your outlook on it.
Yeah.
And that, frankly, at this point, for the amount of time you've spent playing,
yeah,
it should be your outlook at this point, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what makes you snobby, right? Because you're just like, you've heard so much stuff that you eventually get snobby about it because you've just heard so much of it that you have to. Like, it's just like being in any kind of like in your job where it's like, if someone's like, "Hey, is this a screwdriver?" You're like, "Just give me the fucking screwdriver. Like, shut up, go away." It's like
no time.
Because like you can also go like because I don't think people have the attitude of like unless it's like say your kid was like, "What's this? Is this a hammer?" And you're like, "Yes, I'm gonna teach you about this is a hammer."
Yeah.
But if it's just some dude that comes in and you have no vested interest in that guy and he's just like, "Is this a hammer?" You're just like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" Like, I don't want to like because if that person because you could just say, "Oh yes." Treat that random person just like you would treat like a little kid and be like, that is a hammer and there's so much potential with a hammer, and he's just like, oh yeah, and you're like because that's the thing. You just I was at the cafe the other day and there's this curated playlist that they had on. I could tell someone like curated this playlist.
Okay.
But it was all like sort of like female sung electronic, kind of like low key, kind of like chilled out, kind of coffee shop music.
Easy listening. Like us.
Like easy listening in the classic, like that. It's just like there's nothing you can complain about. It's just like sounds kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I kind of associate that music with like millennial garbage, where it's just like it's so like someone just made it to sell it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just like I want to give you a kiss, whatever. Like,
well, no, it's more like it's to sell it, but like to not offend a single person.
That's what I mean. I can tell when someone makes that music now. If I hear music, I'm like, some guy made this like to not offend anyone and to try to
not a person out there. That's the goal. And
like
it feels so vanilla, right?
Like what's that fucking song? The one that goes like. It's like a new. It's like a. I forget who it's by because I can't keep that. Like it's like one of these new bands.
Yeah.
It's like it's not Pumped Up Kicks, but it's like a.
Foster the People.
Yeah, Foster the People.
Yeah.
It's like
got it.
It's like that. whistling thing.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
what it is, yeah.
I'm like, fuck you guys and you're stupid. Like, it's not like it's like
screw you and you're whistling.
it's not even that it's whistling. It's that it's whistling like corporate. Like, it's like just to sell. It's just like loop the same whistling thing like a million times.
The scientists study it.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
like
the best melody.
Yeah, it's like a totally like scientist approved whistling melody. Because it's just like for some people that don't know anything about music, they're just like, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. These guys are like geniuses, and I'm just like, fuck these guys, like to hell. Like I cannot handle this shit. Like even though it's catchy and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it bothers me so much because I feel like I could just hear the selling out in it. It's like pre-sold out.
Right.
It's like they never were edgy. They came into the scene with with no real flaws or mistakes or anything. It's like perfectly like ready for like a fucking Nescafe commercial or something. Like And so when that happens, it's like you have to be aware of like a number of things. Be like, okay, well I sound like a snob because I'm trashing this band, but there's no real reason to trash them because the music is like solidly put together.
Yeah.
But there's something about it where I'm like, I feel like I can just hear the personality of the guy that made it. Like it's like I can just hear him talking in my ear sometimes. Like that's sort of
ingenuous, you know. It's just
that's just my theory though.
You know, I'm with you on it. It's pretty, yeah.
Because it's hard to pinpoint that and say, this guy wrote this music to be a like complete sellout. Because he's probably like, I got in a car accident. I wrote it like he'd have some story that makes him like legit probably if he told the story.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because we'll never know.
Well, we have to talk.
Song and like.
If he reads this, if he listens to this and comments in the YouTube comments, he'd be like, no, actually, this is how I wrote that song. And like my great grandmother used to whistle that part, and like it has nothing to do with like corporate, you know.
Yeah, well, let's put it out there right now to Foster, who is of the people. Foster, if you're out there, come talk to us.
We just want to know if you're sellouts or not, or if you like.
Let us know, Foster. What's your deal, bro?
What's your deal? I mean, even if they are complete sellouts, it's like they're doing better than me, I guess. So it's like,
are they? Maybe not.
Well,
maybe he's in a
mental institution.
Bad place right now. Foster, if you're in a bad place, we're here for you.
I don't know. I feel like guys like that can never be in a bad place.
That's an ignorant thing to say.
Yeah, I know. It's making me just like I don't know why I'm compelled to say it, but I feel like it's like I just like I can't approve of it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, watch your back, Foster.
Well, I should be watching my back.
That's right. Well,
because if he hears about this and he like catches me on the street, he could just come up and club me with a.
Do we know? Can we confirm that there is like a band leader named Foster?
I mean, it's not his name. I don't think. But like, you know, you heard this story about MC Hammer being like a cold ass motherfucker, right?
And then eventually
you heard about this?
Not a priest, a preacher.
Yeah, that's what it was. People like
different
people were talking shit about his mom, and then it basically was like, low key was just like, okay, just like wipe that guy out, like get it, and like but then you're like, it's MC Hammer, he's not gonna like get his goons to like drag me off into like throw me in the river or something like that. But then apparently the rumor is that like he had some goons back in the 90s where if he talked, because there's one song about his mom or something.
By someone?
No, by MC Hammer.
Okay, it's like if you talk shit about my mom.
If you talk about my mom,
I'll parachute my pants down on
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna kick the living shit out of you. Like,
dude, the first album I ever bought myself was Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice. Good choice.
I used to go in my basement and like dance by myself to that album.
In like parachute pants.
You got to pray.
Oh, that's on there?
Pray.
You got to pray just to make it today.
Come on.
That's on there? Oh man.
Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em.
I actually bought that album like 4 months ago for the first time on CD.
Really?
Yeah, from like a thrift store or something.
I think I still have my tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
First tape I had was 2 Live Crew.
You win.
Maybe
like, not.
But like, no, I don't know why I had it, or like someone gave. I think I just got it like as a joke because I was into like joking.
Okay, but no, I was giving you. I mean, I went and bought.
Yeah, I don't know how I acquired it. I don't think I bought it.
Okay, you don't remember the first album you bought?
The first album I bought?
Yeah, like by your own money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Felt like it was like same with like the first movie I watched that I went with like my friends by myself instead of like I went to plenty of movies as a kid, but like you know what I mean.
I think it was probably a Pearl Jam album or something.
Yeah. Pearl Jam.
Yeah, because actually.
That late? No way, dude.
Yeah, because I listened.
That's like 92.
Yeah, it was definitely like I was definitely late. Because the thing is, we listened to like tons of music at my place, but it's all just like random top 40 stuff.
Okay.
And then my friend Jason was like, "Why don't you have any good shit?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I just listened to like.
You put it on. I was like, girl.
Yeah, then he put on some Pearl Jam. He gave me like Guns N' Roses and like Bon Jovi and like a ton of tapes actually.
Okay.
And I think there's some Pearl Jam in there. And I was just like, I was like, this isn't what I normally hear on the radio. That's kind of a weird
mix. Did you say Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just like because it was a weird mix, but also like he gave me his old tape recorder, and he's just like, you need to listen to something other than
who did this?
My friend Jason. We were like 15. We were like 15 or something.
He's like, you are like a decade behind the rest of us.
Yeah, he didn't understand. I think why I didn't listen to anything good or anything. He's like, do you have a CD player? I'm like, no. He's like, do you have a tape player? I'm like, no. He's like, do you listen to music? I'm like, I guess. I'm in the car maybe. Like,
do you remember like a childhood, or were you like more a clone?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I listened to tons of music, like, but like also I just absorbed everything that was like on popular music, I guess.
Okay.
And so that's sort of like where I kind of, have a.
So were you like a big MTV guy type thing, or like a much music?
Yeah, like that one, like in like '95, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
Like that's when I got into it. Before that, I was just like a dork that I didn't know anything about. So when I had like the two, but actually the thing is, I used to make my own like.
Much More Music. What was it? What was the album called? Much.
What?
What's the big album? The compilation.
Oh, Big Shiny Tunes.
Big Shiny Tunes. That was a huge compilation.
Yeah, the thing, is that I used to like put together my own tapes when I was like.
Mixtapes.
No, not mixtapes. Like skits.
Oh,
when I was like 12.
No shit.
Yeah.
Do you have these?
I do somewhere.
Oh, we gotta play these.
I have these like they're basically just like Saturday Night Live kind of style. So I was doing stuff with tapes.
It's really
but not listening to music.
And how old were you talking? 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14.
Wow, that's really.
So that's what I did at that time. Yeah, so it was like, but it was like, just goofing off with your friends, I guess. Like,
sure, that was. We did that in high school we had like a video program at my school, so like we'd run around with cameras.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Nice.
Silly, or whatever. Just acting shit out. So.
See, I did like, I made Ghostbusters 2 before Ghostbusters 2 came out.
Nice, bro.
Like, so I was in grade 5. And I had access to the school's like VHS camera.
Yeah.
So they're like, what do you want to do for your like? This was like an extracurricular thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to make a movie. And they're like, what movie do you want to make? I'm like, Ghostbusters 2. And so we made it. I have it somewhere on tape.
Wow. And did they steal your idea?
I felt like they did.
Really?
Well, no,
marshmallows and shit.
Yeah, there was like, it was just like a grade 5 video, but like, so I was like doing things like that.
That's awesome.
But I wasn't listening, but just for music, I would like just listen to anything the radio had on it.
Yeah. You were open to anything that anybody was going to put on. Whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
That doesn't mean you're not listening. You just didn't find your own kind of voice in someone else.
But I would consider that like a dork. I was like a dork.
Well,
Because I listen to like everything as if like Paula Abdul was like just as cool as anything else, even though.
I don't know, I guess. I just like you're 12. Can you be a dork at 12?
Yeah. Yeah, you could be a huge dork.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was a pretty huge dork because I have this.
I don't know what makes a dork though.
Because you have no taste in anything. You're just like. So you're like liable to
But you did because you had like a creative side. You made Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, but that hasn't for music though. Like I think my first I played saxophone in grade 7, but like.
Well, what the hell are you talking about?
But I had no like taste in any kind of band or anything or artist or anything. Like I just hear stuff on the radio. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah. okay, but
I
you were
just
just growing
not
in your own.
discerning or anything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like you're being a little bit harsh on your younger self there.
Yeah, I don't know, because like
Maybe.
15 is kind of like a getting into any kind of actual bands that like you're like that was like when I got actively like listening to things.
Yep.
But before that, it was more just like OCD, kind of like I just knew every song on the radio and kind of just
Yeah.
knew who they were and like
I mean, that's
treated
basically where I started.
treated them all equal kind of thing.
Yeah, like I think you find your style of music,
Hmm.
and then you listen to the radio. At least back then, it was
Yeah.
the radio, right? So like that's no different than anyone else. It's just when you find it, it's different.
But I feel like even when I got a style, it was like I just adopted it straight up from my buddy,
Right.
and then like
Just ran with it.
it just and so like it wasn't until like after high school even that I like felt I still like so I was always working on mixtapes and stuff like that, but still it was like I think I was a stereotype to myself even up until like university, because that's when I started getting into like way more different kinds of music and like confronting different like styles that I wasn't like particularly like into. Like I never would have listened to this like
This sounds cool.
going into like I couldn't have appreciated this like back in that time. I guess.
I agree with that statement. There's no way I would have gone this long.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just shy of 4 times listening to the album.
Oh yeah.
So this will be, about the 5th time.
Yeah.
And there's no way I would have went once
Before.
Yeah. No way.
Well, it's weird with albums like actually that remind me of listening to like the Stone Roses have their second album's called Second Coming.
Yep.
And I've been listening to it like driving around lately.
Okay.
And I never liked it. Like I was always just like it's considered a flop. Like their first album is considered a classic. Their second album is considered commercial flop.
Right.
And like nobody's into it really. Like it's just not popular.
And you found a way.
And I finally was like, this is a fucking awesome album. What the hell was I thinking? But
is it drastically different then?
It's like basically like their take on like Zeppelin almost.
Oh.
Because like they were like a poppy band.
Yeah.
And then they went into like he's emulating like Jimmy Page.
Really?
Because he can pull it off.
Wow.
He's actually like that good. So.
I'd have to give that a listen.
It's pretty fun.
We should link
I'll
bunch
pick
of
it
this
for
stuff, right? You're the
I'll do the linking and
specialist.
stuff. But yeah, like fucking that album's, and it's not because it sounds like Zeppelin that is why I like it, but like the thing that I realized after like I've been trying to listen to it for like 20 years. Like honestly, like every year I give it a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, can't fucking listen to this album. But the reason is because it starts off with like this intro that's like 4 minutes long, and it's just like instruments kind of chiming in and warming up kind of thing. Like there's like a weird it's like a background song that just drags on like so fucking long.
Really?
And then the song itself is like 6 minutes, but the intro is like 4 minutes. And so the song doesn't kick in until like 4 minutes in.
Right.
And I never ever wanted to go like that long to get to that first song.
Right.
But then like a few weeks ago, I'm like, this first track's actually legit.
Yeah.
Like finally I got it. I'm like, that's a cool riff. Like
you just expand as a person.
But no, I just like couldn't get through the first song for 20 fucking years.
Well, hey man, it's just it caught you at the right time. A lot of it's the right time, your mood and that, right? Like there's so many factors in that, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's cool. Like I can there's space for this in one's life. You know what I mean? Like there's a time and a place where this would really connect.
What, this?
Yeah, this album here, Underworld.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Like, they're one of my favorite bands, I guess. Like, there's a bunch of bands that are like half like, there's like the singular kind of. This
is Stagger.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really know. This is like the songs on this album. I can never keep the names in my head because there's certain like the fucking title of the album apparently.
Yeah, but again, this is a remastered, so I don't know if it's longer or not. I didn't look.
No, it seems like it's the same album as ever, but
yeah, I wouldn't know. So.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's like I listen to like a lot of jazz, but I have trouble keeping the names of songs in my head.
Yep.
Like, cause it's instrumental. They're weird and like it's like, but I still like really like them. I know which albums I like.
Yep.
But like I know people that with this kind of music or just with normal rock music, they can't think of the artist, they can't think of the song title.
Yep.
And those people bother me because I'm like, you can't think of the artist or the song title. Like,
I
what's wrong with you?
struggle with that though. I do struggle with that.
Yeah, like Jill was like, I can't think of any like band like album names or I'm like, what's wrong with you? You can't like you don't you gotta get that you gotta like it's just my OCD wants to be like,
Yeah, there's a time
what's wrong
when
with
I
you? You
was
can't
really
remember
on
that?
that.
Like
I used to be really on that, but now it's just I'm like, man,
yeah.
I can't think of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
But in terms of like jazz and stuff, I just can't. That's where I lose track of things. I like.
Yeah.
I know which albums I like, but I just don't know which songs are which. Like
Yeah.
in terms of the name of them or whatever.
That's a good starting point, though, right?
Yeah.
At least you're on the album.
Yeah. Like, and I saw it, but this is kind of like that because it's very abstract, and so it's like
totally.
You can't even think like what would the song be called.
Stagger.
Like none. That's why I like it though, because it's just like. It's like you wouldn't.
He's not saying stagger over and over.
Yeah, which is
stagger.
what I like that. I like
stagger.
Yeah, that would make it more boring to me.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Like I have this thing where it's like I think it's like an OCD thing, but if the song, because most songs, a lot of songs,
that's cool.
The title will be the first thing the guy says.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing, a faux pas. I can't handle that.
Yeah, you don't like it.
Because it's usually something generic. But yeah. But that's just my own kind of...
This is the last song.
Is it? Like the total last song?
So like from Pearls... So that's interesting. So the second half of this album flies by compared to the first.
Yeah, I didn't really notice. Like
really, like
where we were.
I don't want to say dragged on. Sounds like it's just long intros, like just really stretched out in the beginning. So it's really interesting to notice that actually. Man, we just flew through that second half.
Was that actually like 70 minutes? How long was the whole thing?
Doesn't your fancy...
It says it on there somewhere. But
your fancy TV box over there?
It's set to bars, not time.
No.
Switch it over.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's like 71 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But again, this kind of album could suck you in for that time. You can lose that time.
Yeah, that's the kind of the point of it. Like, I used to paint a lot to this kind of stuff. So, like, to me, it's just like, it's just kind of like goes with just doing this. Yeah. You know, so like, so many weeks of this kind of thing. You know, so in that context, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, there's like in this particular song here, there's like a rush type. If the drumming was better,
yeah, like more.
And it sounded like Geddy Lee saying. It's got that kind of vibe. If it was Rush instead of this, it would sound like Rush.
I can. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Get that keyboard thing going.
This is one of those songs where you're either in a trance or you're just bored. And you know,
like a proggy rock kind of vibe.
But it's slow, but it's kind of just goes on for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of songs you just have to be like.
It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different from what. So think of the start of this album, right? And now where we are. It's really interesting how they've kind of sequenced the album.
Yeah. It's pretty like winding down at this point.
Hmm.
And sometimes you're in the mood for that, other times you're not, right?
Hmm. But like, I mean, we turned up the volume a bit as we went on. But
that's true.
There was no like tangible crescendo, be it song to song or you know, or album.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to, you know what I mean? Like there was no, it was kind of a constant state, which again goes back to that trance like.
Yeah, like this to me is like the kind of makes sense as the last songs. It's just very kind of like slow and kind of just like floating along. Like you're kind of like done with the kind of faster paced, harder beats.
It's like when you work out, like you do the stretching before and then you have the cool down.
Yeah,
after,
this is like a cool down song basically. Because it's like, when is this fucking song gonna end? You don't know.
Yeah, no, actually we're getting close here.
Pretty soon.
Yeah. Let's enjoy the end. It's like a heartbeat.
It's cool. But some songs are just, you know, they're like, you know, like Riders on the Storm, right? That song, obviously.
The famous Vaughn Monroe version.
Have you ever listened? You listen to that song?
I used to play it.
Riders on the Storm.
Yeah.
Play it.
Yeah.
Like on the drums, or what do you mean?
Guitar, singing.
Oh, you used to sing it.
Yeah.
Because it's so long, but it's a really cool song.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the mood to play like a 10-minute song, or like hear a 10-minute song, it's like.
My old man loved that song, so I learned it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs, but I'm not usually in the mood to like. So I need something more driving to keep me going,
There's
right?
some really horrible, like, southern rocky versions of that song.
Is there?
Like, horrible. It's like, oh my god, like, who told you to release this? But it's funny.
Huh. Wow.
There we have it. We are looking at the
second toughest in the infants.
Yeah.
Fuck, I swear it was up because I'm like.
Yeah, Dave thinks there's a
Mandela effect going on.
Mandela effect going on. So if anybody can, get in contact with us and
disprove it, like
or validate Dave's.
Well, I mean,
parent.
I guess I've just never looked at the words because I knew it was infants and I knew it was second toughest, but I never that one word.
It rattled you, man. I noticed.
I was like,
before we hopped on here,
I had to check like across the web to make sure that it wasn't some kind of conspiracy.
Well, like you were saying, it's this you really like this artist, so it was it's obviously a seminal type album for you, or the one after was, but like so like it's an artist you care about, so it's.
But it's a song or it's like an album title that doesn't really like. Quite make sense.
One. Yeah.
The first album's called like Deck Dubs Bass something something.
Okay.
And it's another one where I'm like, I feel like I know what it is, but if you ask me like point blank, I'd be like, I don't actually know what it is.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of words strung together that like is cool looking, but if you try to think of what it actually is, it's like I can't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Name it,
yeah.
but that's what another thing that makes it cool because
that's
like
like you're saying song titles. So yeah, I get that you're definitely into that.
But it's funny because like one of my favorite groups. I thought it was the second album, but it's the fourth album. I don't know the fucking title of it.
Yeah, you learned a lot tonight.
It's like, apparently I don't know much about this band. I thought it was two guys, probably like.
But again, I think you thought it was the second album because like even the bio is saying like the second of like when that buddy jumped on. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously that's like the formative years of the band, right? So. Or I don't know, it's still labeled as an artist, so it's like, okay, this guy jumped on, but is it a band? Like,
I always thought it was two guys.
Like, okay, like I don't know anything about him. I know that I watched the movie.
Yeah, and the album that I thought was I think it's the first album, but maybe it's the second album. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was the first album. But anyway, that album I remember listening to it a few times, and I was not sold on it at all. I'm like, this is not the same as this at all. It sounds more like tacky to me. But probably in like 10 years, I'll be like really into it.
Yeah, like that album took you 20 years.
Yeah, the Stone Roses one took me 20 years. But can you think of a time where there was an album that like crept up on you like over like a long time?
Let me think here. I think
Counting Crows.
No, I didn't mind that from the beginning. It's an okay album. It's kind of been done now. I don't particularly need to hear that again.
Yeah.
But I had no problem with that album. No, I think more like if it was anything, it was like boy, that's a hard one for me. I don't know. I'm not usually. If it's anything, it's old stuff that I didn't have. I didn't grow up with, and I jumped onto later, like I don't know, Bee Gees.
Oh, the Bee Gees.
I freaking didn't care for them when I was growing up.
Did you get into the Bee Gees?
Yeah, well, they're awesome, man. The bass lines are awesome in that.
That's true.
And the vocal lines, and yeah, man, there's a lot to like there.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the Bee Gees, actually. I don't remember initially liking them at all.
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
Because they're a weird...
fuck. And then you see them, the way they look, this like tight-ass jeans and like...
Just like cut some weird
shirts and shit. Like, what the fuck, man?
And they're kind of dorky dudes.
Yeah, right.
And like the way that guy sings is like, you can't like it's just like that's literally I watched like a 2-hour concert with my mom. Like
I just watched some Bee Gees shit.
Was it a live concert?
Yeah, it was the Atlantic Records 40th anniversary concert.
Of all Bee Gees stuff?
No, it was all people.
Oh, all Atlantic people.
And and the Bee Gees are like. These guys are weird looking fellas.
Because that guy's voice, right? It's like almost like it's like an affected voice. Because like
so this was later on, right? Obviously they were older. This was in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was interesting to see. It was kind of a train wreck, kind of not. Kind of what yeah, it's the charm of back then.
Yeah.
It's like, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Even in the 80s, they had no fucking idea. When it was live, they're like, I don't know, man, just go out there, right? And they just deal with it, right? And
Yeah.
there's kind of an element of that still. They hadn't figured it. It's not
The Bee
like,
Gees hadn't?
no, just like
The industry
the
had.
industry in general. It just kind of
Yeah.
was still, maybe at the time we thought they were on top of their shit, but when you look back at it now, it's like, oh my god,
I don't know, man.
what's
Like,
going on?
you see award shows and they're pretty much just like from the beginning. It's like a mess.
Well, now they're like so scripted, so
Yeah.
it's just just like you were saying, like it's the same thing with music when it's not like you were saying. Underworld had an album there that it was kind of not as it was kind of like not I don't know, just a weak version of
Oh yeah, like later on,
yeah,
it's like not as
yeah. So like it's just the same
cool.
idea, right? Like it's just feel, right?
Mhm.
And you can't make that up, right?
It's true.
And it translates. And that anyways, back to that album. It was a really cool album. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but totally more of like this. Just like I need to be in a in some kind of club listening.
Yeah, exactly. If there's not a context for it, you can't really like.
Or biking.
Yeah.
Both those things I could totally see it working. Or if like I had some kind of like I don't know crafty thing to do that I didn't have to like super overthink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of more like doing like some kind of small production line type thing.
Or if you're fixing something or whatever, it's in the background.
Yeah.
It's like mood. It's mood music or something. It's like establishes a certain mood.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if when I listen to stuff in the car, it's like I make like a point to go on like long random trips just
for
to put
this
on,
you would
just to listen to certain albums. Like I'll do that with podcasts too.
Country driving for this would be cool, like nice big trees. Like
exactly right. So like podcasts are like that too, where it's like I can't just sit in a chair.
Yeah,
I have to be like moving
I agree with
or
that.
something. So like
for the most part, yeah.
I don't want to just like recline on the couch and listen to podcasts. I have to be like doing something.
I'd rather read at that point.
Yeah. Reading's different, I guess, but. Yeah, so it's all about the context of the type of music. But if you don't have a situation to match the context, like some music is just like you want to like do some like hanky panky, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but other music you couldn't do that with that music, right? It's just like if it's
totally.
Like if it's like a Weird Al song, I probably wouldn't be like banging to it or something, right?
Well,
like necessarily.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. But like other stuff, it's like it's more just like.
Never.
Because then if there's too many words in it, they might get your attention at the wrong time.
Right.
So you're just like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like that one of those kind of things where it's got to be like the context has to be right. So.
Huh. Well, yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's our take of Underworld's album.
Second toughest in the Infants.
Yes, and so we appreciate you guys coming along on this journey.
Yep.
Before we get off. We should have said this at the beginning, but I just noticed that poster over there, and we had a really cool show at the Red Papaya in Guelph.
Yeah.
On what was that? February.
Yeah, it was like a week and a half ago.
I don't know what the date was. 16th.
Yeah.
And it was a Sunday evening show. It was really good. It was a fundraiser for
the wildfires in Australia.
That's right. And Curtis and Renee, I think, put that together.
Yeah, that was cool.
Of Tiger Suit, a great band you should check out.
Yeah. Along with Gain Music.
That's right. Gain Music was a part of it, and we had ourselves.
Kane and the Revolution or whatever.
Kane and the Redemption.
Kane and the Redemption. Yeah.
Tiger Suit and us, and it was a lot of fun, and. So yeah, just thanks to everybody for that. We raised a lot of money for that, and it was a great time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Again, check us out at suburbanbicyclegang.com or on Spotify or
on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
But not on Instagram, even though, are we on Instagram?
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Okay, also Instagram.
Yeah, I think Suburban Bicycle. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Instagram, yeah. And the old Facebook.
And ye old Facebook.
You'll
find us if you look for us.
But I'm going to do an update on shows coming up too.
That's true. There's some stuff brewing. So
yeah. So thanks, and we'll check you soon.
We'll check you next month for the podcast if we do number 4.
For shizzle.